Hi guys, Chico here, back with you. Yes.
You read about the issues between operators and the south of England and how they've been forced by the government to use services the city which don't exist anymore.
And
The franchising agreements.
yeah, and these poor people in the south of England paying enormous chunks on annual season tickets for the train, and the train service is appalling. Now, I believe they resolved that, didn't they say last week, that they would give everybody who was a season ticket holder in cash, a cash refund of 1 month's cost, I think they said.
There's still run 20 services out of London every day which carry no people at all. Because a lot of the locations we go to don't have operating stations. It's just written up in the agreement that they had to hit these stations even if they were profitable. And since nobody uses the station, no man but the train has to go through anyway.
And that is a wasteful duplication of resource. Not duplication, just use. Now, speaking of reading, to follow on from Robert's point there, I don't know if G_economics for Twitter. I've just tweeted out, yes, stop rolling your eyes, Philip. Stop rolling your eyes. Principal Waterfield watches these, so it's, a good reference for you there. I've just tweeted out yesterday the Financial Times list of economics books of 2018 recommended for students of economics. Now, as you are going to be entering the throes of your UCAS statements and potentially going to interviews for university, very important that you might like to read some books over the summer. So have a look there. And those of you who do politics as well, A-level politics, they put out a similar list for politics. So have a look at that. Get yourselves some summer reading to do.
Can you get them on Kindle?
I imagine. So yes. Okay, so now we're going to draw, ladies and gentlemen, the natural monopoly diagram, okay? So nice big diagram as usual. Now last week, ladies and gentlemen, we were in Brussels when England were playing Belgium in the football. And George and Nicole and myself, we were monitoring the behaviour of the other students in and around the football venue because they were so insistent about watching the football, which was absolutely fine. And that we just kept close track on the Burnhamfield bad boys to make sure that watching the football was the only thing that was happening there.
Oh, what happened?
And I think that's what we observed, isn't it, Nicole?
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched it a bit as well from the...
We did. We were sensible. We were the sensible ones because we found a nice seat where we could not only watch the match but also survey the scene as well.
What did you see?
Sorry?
What did you see then?
Well, it was nice to just be in the sort of the grand square behind the European Parliament building, which was a hive of activity, and it's just like people watching. There's people watching, and young George Kaspikas, very entertaining young man, and great bunts. Okay, let's get this diagram boshed out. Now, you've got to keep thinking of these as you draw this diagram, because these are very important. So, no difference between your standard monopoly and natural monopoly when it comes to AR, demand, and MR. Just same applies. However, we've already established that the ATC falls continuously. So you want to start your ATC about there and bring it down like so. So that's ATC. Now I'm just going to, for your own memory, I'm just going to draw the other one, the normal one beside it. So you've got something to think about. ATC, MC. Now, if ATC falls continuously, I want you to think back to your knowledge of the relationship between ATC, AVC, AFC, MC. What's the relationship between MC and ATC on our short-run cost curves?
ATC is increasing when MC is declining.
Correct. ATC is increasing there. But why is it increasing? We're not going to go over this again, but it's because the marginal it drags up the average. When the marginal is above average, it drags it up. We went through examples of that, so I'm not going to go through that again. Now, if this ATC curve falls continuously, what's the implication for the MC then? It's always going to be
below the ATC.
Below. And so MC, now don't put this, I've drawn this ATC a bit further down than I would have liked really. I should maybe have rubbed that out. But the MC also falls continuously. Yes?
Are they meant to be parallel?
Not necessarily, so, but just to fit it on is, I mean it wouldn't matter, Robert, as long as you got them downward sloping, I mean, Okay, now there's two things to look at on this diagram. Number one is profit maximising output rule. Alex, profit maximising output equals
MC equals AR. Equals MR, sorry.
very good, Radhika.
That was my
Ems, who was it? It must have been Radhika. You were texting her all the time when we were away. Were you not?
No,
Oh, was it Serena?
no. I wasn't
Right.
texting anyone, I never used signal.
Sorry?
I never used signal, I wasn't texting anyone.
Alright, so don't get so defensive about it, Alex. Hey, thou protested too much.
Alright,
Right, okay.
Alright.
So, there's MR. Red line is MC. Obviously, that is MC equals MR, right there. So, we take that down, and that is our output, remember, that's the output. So that's QNM, natural monopoly, output of the natural monopoly.
Can I go?
Excuse me?
Can I go for my exit?
Okay, just a minute. Exit, stage door, right. Stage door, how appropriate for you being a thespian.
What's the best feeling?
Somebody who's interested in acting.
Oh.
But sort of being in that, what was that play you went, what was it called?
What?
Les Mis. Okay. What will the price be at the natural monopoly output, Sydney?
Will it be
Up to
up to the line? Really
up to demand, correct? Or AR. So go up and across. So it's P and M. Which one?
You didn't say that.
Bye bye.
MC equals MR.
MC equals MR. Profit maximising output. Where do we get the price from? Demand. So up to demand and across. Okay. Nickel, profit or loss?
Profit.
Because
Because if you take it to the ACC, then the cost is lower than the price.
exactement. What is the cost of that level of output? It is there on the ATC curve. That's the cost.
So do we need to highlight the
Let's not run before we can walk, Sydney. But yes. So we take that across, that's C and M, cost of the natural monopoly. And as your learned colleague, Sydney there, really sort of, really knowing the business, knowing her onions there. That area is obviously, Sydney, what would we call it then? What type?
is it abnormal?
That is abnormal profit, correct. So that area is abnormal profit. Okay. Now, I have just told you, no, I haven't told you, the government, the Chris Grayling, the government have just told us that the Virgin Northeast line was not profitable when they tried to introduce competition to a natural monopoly. So we now need to use this diagram to show what the price and output would be if the government, which is what they tried to do, tried to introduce perfect competition or competitive forces. There's a diagram for monopoly. Where does a monopolist maximise profit, Max? Profit maximise output rule.
MC equals MR.
Is that MC equals MR? Or are you saying MC equals MR?
MC equals MR.
Okay, thank you. So that's MC equals MR. We've already established that here. Where does... So the government, they're trying to introduce competition into natural monopoly, so they really want it to be like that. The long run, perfectly competitive market. Where price equals... Go on, it's one of the conditions of perfect competition in the long run. Price equals
MC.
MC. P equals MC. Right, so where does P equal MC on that diagram? Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, he's pointing at the random spot on the board and expecting me to sort of read his eye line there. Come on, where? You can. Where on this diagram can I do the point where P equals MC?
Which diagram?
Oh, this one.
Oh, I was looking at that.
Alex, your hand up, are you stretching?
No, my hands up.
Okay, let's flick to Alex then.
Is it where the ATC,
No, it's got to be where MC, it's where price equals marginal.
Well, you call it that's the height.
the MC equals MR.
The line doesn't go up.
Dylan.
Is it where the output, the quantity is the MR? So where you've got the black dot.
No. Okay, I'll give you another little clue. MC is supply. This is AR equals MR, but of course AR is equal to demand. So that's basically where demand equals supply. Same thing. So where does demand equal supply on that diagram? Bearing in mind that MC is also the supply curve. Nickel?
That's where AR equals MC, basically where supply meets demand.
Exactly! There!
That's where I was waiting to.
Of course. That's where MC equals AR. That's where supply equals demand. Same thing, supply equals demand. Okay? Now what does that get you? That gets you the output. So that would be, we would call that QPC, so it's perfectly competitive output in a natural monopoly structure.
So this one was competition.
So this is what we used to have. Now you can see why the government would want that for consumers, because what happens, Dylan?
The price is...
The price shoots down. No wonder the government says this will be a good deal for consumers, because the price, we're already at the demand curve, so it's not a question of going up, so we just go across. So that's the price, PPC. I mean, would you rather pay PNM or PPC? I know what one I'd rather pay, and if I didn't have the money, I'd just borrow it from Nickel. So, obviously I'd pay that back, Nickel. Charleston was trying to charge me interest on his on the borrowings from him as well, €5. Got that back, didn't you? And he spent it on ice cream, did you?
Didn't get one.
No, did you not?
And waffles then.
No, at the train station.
Okay.
Did you not? Okay. Now, what is the problemo with having that structure? And this is one of the reasons why the whole Virgin tie-up hasn't worked. Robert?
Price is way below the cost.
Thank you. Very good. It's not way below, but what's the cost of PC? We just go up to the cost curve there. That's the cost. The cost is more than the revenue. So that's CPC. So that means if you try and introduce competition into an industry like train, telecommunications, firms, all of that rectangle there, that big rectangle there, Alex, all of that is, all of that, that's the money coming in from your price ticket sales,
Yeah.
that's the cost. So what's all that area then? Exactly. Or subnormal profit. All of that is a loss. Now, how did the government overcome that in the last 20 years? By...
Subsidised.
Exactly. The government wanted the price to go from here to here. Problem, the firms will make a loss. Solution, taxpayer still chip in to an operation which is now run by private profit-seeking enterprises. At the last count last year, we gave £2 billion of subsidy to Virgin and all the other train operating companies. 2 billion. And yet they're privately owned profit-seeking enterprises. Why on earth is the taxpayer paying $2 billion? So to get from there to there, we're talking a 2 bill, it might even have been more than that, 4, 2 billion subsidy. Now I have to say that my experience and our experience on LNER, as it was last week, was superb. No delays, nice, relatively nice trains. Eurostar was much better, to be fair. Trains were nice, they're on time, they're clean, no problems. So maybe it is better, maybe it is time to take these things back under public ownership. But this is a very common exam question, to say, analyse the problem, or evaluate, would be discuss, evaluate the problems of trying to introduce competitive forces into an industry which has a natural monopoly structure. And these are the types of things you'd have to talk about. They are all still here, ladies and gentlemen. It's just been quite overwhelming for them. Okay, I'm going to stop the video there, ladies and gentlemen, whilst we now move on to something else. So it's Chico signing out for now, and pick this up next time.